Republicans will expel George Santos for God knows what. I don't know, because they haven't proven that he's done anything wrong yet. They were still in the middle of some sort of investigation, some biased investigation. And Republicans are like, oh, we can't have that within our ranks. We need to expel, get rid of him. Now we're talking about these narrow margins that we have that we might not even be able to impeach Mayorkas. So Republicans are like, oh, we're holier than thou. We got to expel our own. And there is no freaking way they're going to vote to expel Ilhan Omar because they're too scared of being called racist and xenophobic, even though they know damn well that there is no member of Congress that it should be tolerated that they go out there and literally tell people that they are prioritizing another country's interests over America. There's no way. There's no way that would fly if it was a white person. Absolutely no way. And because the color of her skin is brown, now she can go out and brag to everyone that she is literally advocating for another country on top of America, and nothing is going to happen. Nothing will happen to her. Nothing. Somalia expert.
You know, I'm going to be
Doyle.
honest. I just sort of gave myself that title because I didn't think I would really have to elaborate. And then I found out that my fellow panelist had actually been to Somalia. And so I do feel a little upstaged, but I'll give it my best shot. The word she used there, nation, is a very particular word. It's different than country. It actually implies like a lineage and people. And so she views herself not to really be an American, obviously, but she views herself as sort of like a colonist. I mean, she is here, and a lot of these immigrants do that. They view themselves as what Theodore Roosevelt described to be a hyphenated American. You know, they don't really view themselves as fully American. They really view themselves as Somalians, as whatever, and then they live in America and they maybe use whatever influence they can acquire in America to help the homeland back home. A lot of immigrants do this because they want to come to America and work, and then they send money back home through remittance payments, or they're Ilhan Omar and they want to come to America, accumulate some political power, and then advocate ultimately in the interest of the country of Somalia. And you know that their true allegiance is with the home country because if Ilhan Omar found out that we were going to pass legislation to cut off foreign aid to Somalia, well, all of a sudden she wouldn't exactly be so patriotic. And a lot of other people do this as well. And depending on which political circle you're in, you'll have a problem with Chuck Schumer getting up there and telling AIPAC that he's going to continue to advocate on behalf of Israeli interests. Or if you're Ilhan Omar, you're going to get up there and say you're going to advocate on behalf of Somali interests. A lot of Hispanic congressmen do this. And so it seems to be at a state where you've got this big American empire and everybody wants to come in and plant their flag and try to siphon from the nest egg that is accumulated because of the American taxpayer and use that to dispense patronage back home. And that's why throughout this country's political history in the last 100 years, the label that gets you picked on the most, and that's what conservatives are so afraid of, is being called mean by people that hate them, is simply saying, hey, I want to put America first. That's racist. That's anti-Semitic. That's evil. No. It's just I want American government to be a vehicle to advocate for the interests of the American people. Every other country on the face of the planet has that right, and it's actually more offensive to say that we shouldn't have that right than to say that we should have that right in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being someone who is a refugee, like you fled your home country and this country outstretched its arms and brought you in and lifted you up to the point where you have become a congresswoman. Right. You have become a congresswoman and you still spit in the face of America, clearly hate America, take for granted everything that America has given you and provided for you. And you still, it's not even that. Then you brag in front of everyone. You stand up on a platform and brag about the fact that you still hate America and would rather advocate for the country that you fled.
There's a lot I want to say about this. I think her towel's on too tight, first of all. But the next thing...
Is that what it is?
Well, it's part of the problem.
Okay.
I said this a couple of weeks ago on X. I said the most privileged class of people in America today are black women with power or money. Okay? You can't say anything about them being black because that's racist. You can't say anything about being women because that's misogynist. Well, I'll add one more. If you're from another country, apparently, because now you can also be called a xenophobe. Well, I'm not any of those things. I'm just intolerant. Okay? So when it comes to something like this, let me ask you a question. What if she stood up there and she was an immigrant from Russia or China, and she was saying, I'm here to protect Chinese interests from within Congress, or Russia, or name your North Korea, whoever, Iran? you would say this is a spy.
Yes.
Now, nobody's worried about Somalia. They're not a superpower out there that's coming for, America's national defense. So we just kind of brush it under the rug. But for her to stand up there and say, I am a Somalian first, a Muslim second, and I'm here to protect Somali interest from within this institution, you're getting voted off the island, right? Because it's time to go home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at the flag thing, people will push back and say, nah, that was a promoted thing that was voted on and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, you let me know when it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got a feeling that the Somali population and anybody in downtown Minneapolis will prove that I'm right. Just send your little comments in.
Yeah.
They're here to stay. And thanks, Obama, by the way.
Well, it's also interesting, too, to talk about the look, there's 86,610 Somali Americans, which just drives me bonkers that we even use this term. Sorry, Somali American expert. It's like you're either an American or you're not. You don't have to have something in front of that. Are you Somali? Then you're not American.
I learned that it was actually Somali American. The term that I had been using prior, which I was corrected by one of these people, was Somalian American. And they were like, actually, it's not Somalian American. It's Somali American. I was like, why are you telling me how to speak my language?
What are you saying that's different?
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.